Hey guys, so this is my little tutorial here. This is Faith Budget, so I'm going to show you guys how to do my nails. This is the clear translucent. Here's the swatches that I used to pick my colors. I'm going to use this color this time, so there's how I match it to the color, the numbers that are on top of the lid. That's how I look it up and keep it in my storage bin, and I can go find the color that I want. I'll start with this translucent. There's the dip base coat. There's the top coat. That's a gel top coat. And then there is the cuticle oil. And I forgot to bring out the activator. I'll bring that out later. And there's the brushes. Okay, so first what I do is get the base, the powder base, and I just put a thin layer. After I've prepped my nails, I soaked my nails in acetone after I take off the top layer, which is that shiny, the gel top coat. I take that off with a drill, one of the nail drills. And then after I take that top coat off, I soak it in acetone in like a Ziploc bag, in a paper towel inside that bag, and I just soak it off and remove any excess with the file, with the smooth end of the file, like maybe that's some around the cuticles. And then that's when I get ready to do the dip powder. And I apply a really thin coat of this base. This is the sticky stuff. This is what the powder sticks to. And I just use the translucent powder first. Some people don't do that. It just kind of gives it a little bit of a strength. I think it has some strengthener in it to keep it from maybe cracking or chipping or maybe splitting the powder. So I watched a YouTube video. A girl always used the translucent first. So I do that first on all the nails. Just do a really thin layer and don't get up too close to the cuticle. So I sped up there and I did all the translucent. Now I'm going to do my color, and I put that in my little tray here. It's just easier to dip it in that because that container's so small. The powder lasts forever though. That little bit of powder, I've had that for years, so it lasts a long time, especially with just one person's nails, you know. But I have done my sister's a couple times and my nieces, but the colors last a long time. So after each application of powder, you make sure you dust it off with your little brush there. So now I'm going to go back in and do the base again and put the color on this time. We'll add a little color to the top of the translucent. And it'll stick to it. You can put it on as many times as you need to. Just stay real thin with it so that it's easier to work with. You don't want to be too thick with your base. It'll make it look clumpy, and you don't want it real thick up next to your cuticle. Start out there smaller, and you can be a little thicker on the end, towards the end of your nail. And if you get some on the side of your finger, you can use that little toothpick of a thing that I have there to the right. That kind of removes any excess. If you see that you got your base on your finger, then just take the end of that and wipe it off with that before you dip it in the powder, so the powder doesn't get on your skin. I usually have to do that more on my right hand because I'm right hand dominant. So whenever I'm painting with my left hand to my right hand, I'm a little bit messier. I'm a little bit slower. So I do have to use that to get the excess if I make a mistake. And I'm going to try to zoom through here. I won't show you guys every single nail. It's kind of boring and it's time consuming. I'm watching my Netflix show while I do my nails, so sometimes I'm slow. I set up shop in my living room and on a table, and then I got my iPad in front of me I'm watching The Suits right now on Netflix. Watch different shows on there. I think I'm going to watch Bridgerton too, but I like to finish one thing before I start another. And there was another one that my son told me to watch. I think it might have been The Suits, yeah. Oh, I just finished watching The Resident. That's what I had been watching. So I finished that series, so now I'm watching The Suits. I'm on season 2. Because it normally takes me like an hour and a half to do this, and sometimes two, just depending on how thick I need to go with it. I usually do 2 to 3 coats of the color after the initial base layer, the translucent. And it just depends on the color, how thick you want it. The thicker you go, the darker the color will be. So like on my swatches, if I only swatch them like twice, it might be a lighter color than what it would be if I went a little, another layer with it. It'd be darker. So on my swatches, I usually do 3 layers so that I know how dark it'll be. So there's that one hand. It looks messy because the powder's all over you, but it wipes off really, really good. So I sped through there, got it all on all the fingers, I think. Maybe I go back through and add another layer, I believe. I do that. I'm new at this voiceover, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I'm just trying to do it this way because it would have just been too hard to do it talking while I'm doing it, and it takes so long. I didn't want to record that many minutes of a video. I may delete some of this out. So now, what am I going to do? Okay, cleaning off all the excess powder. See if I need any more layers, I think is what I'm doing. See how thick it is, how dark, if you can actually see through, yeah. Okay, so it's a little thin. I believe I'm going to add another coat here. Oh, good, I'm zooming in because I didn't know how to do that while I'm editing here. I'm a newbie, you guys, sorry. But it really does save a lot of money by doing this from home. I've done it from home since COVID. So I've been doing my nails at home for 4 years. And so I have, different colors now. You can get a whole set of colors, with 10 to 15, sometimes 20 different colors for less than $20 or maybe $25 for a set. And sometimes it has the base coat and the activator in it. And then I buy the gel top coat by itself. It does not come with the powder. If you want to do the gel top coat, it comes by itself. You would have to buy it. That's what the gel top coat is, the top coat that you put on top of gel nail polish. But I don't use gel nail polish. I use the powder. I think it stays better. It hardens. It doesn't chip. And then I put the gel top coat on it because it's shiny. Super, super duper shiny. Whole lot better than the top coat for the powder. It just gets dull really quick. And I think you can actually get the matte top coat. I haven't tried that yet. I really like the shiny, so I don't know how I would like the matte. But they do make a matte top coat as well, if you don't like the shiny. So here I'm just adding that next coat. Just trying not to get too close to the cuticle. And get a thin layer back on to dip again. And like sometimes you'll have to dip more than once, If it still looks a little bit wet, dip it again in your powder to make sure that it's not sticky. You want it to dry and absorb all the powder that it can. Because I think that one of my fingers I can see now, it looks like it's still a little bit wet. So I'll probably go back through and dip it again. I won't put any more bait. There we go. Yeah. See, it's a little wet. So I'm going to dip it again. That pinky is too. So, okay, that's looking better. Do another. And sometimes I will just do an extra coat on my pointer finger and my thumb because those are the fingers that I use the most, I guess, when I'm cleaning, when I'm trying to open things. And I kind of want them just a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger. So I have just sometimes put an extra coat on those 2 fingers and then maybe even my middle finger sometimes. So sometimes I do that, just depending on how thick you like it and how long how long your nails are. I have really long nail beds. So my nails are not actually that long, but I have super long nail beds and it makes them look longer. I get that from my grandmother. She has super long nail beds too. I always thought she had long nails. And my toes are the same way. Long toenail beds. Well, everything's long about me, I guess. I'm 6 foot tall. You can see there my right thumb, it is dry. You can see how dry it is. That's from the acetone where I soaked my nails in acetone. I probably put my finger too deep in the little Ziploc bag. I use a Ziploc bag and put a paper towel in it and just kind of soak it and rub my fingers around on the paper towel. And that gets everything soaked off. Okay, what are we doing now? Okay, just going back through and getting the wet spots, making sure that I have all the powder on there. Okay, now I'm doing the activator. I've got all the coats on there that I want of the powder, and the activator is just kind of like it sets the powder. It soaks in really, really good. Okay, I'm going to show you the brand here. It's called Nail Boo Activator, step number 2. It had a 2 beside of it. So you do your base coat is 1, activator is step 2, and top coat is step 3. So activator, you just put it on all your fingers. By the time you get done with all 10, you come back around and it's dry. It does not take long to dry on the activator. And it just kind of hardens it, and you can tap on them and you can feel that they're hard. Like you can't scratch the top of the powder off. That's how you know the activator's dry and it's ready to file. You can actually file it and shape it and buff out any bumps that might be in the powder. Until you get a little bit better at it, you might have some ridges or something like that. You can smooth all that out. That's what the activator does. I had too much powder on there, I guess. I didn't get all that off. Yeah, you want to make sure you get all the powder off before you start with the activator. All the excess powder. Wipe all that off really good before you start in with the activator. The activator soaks in. You can see it absorbing in the powder. It's kind of neat. And then you can see how the nails are already darker. It's more of what color they will be. The powder's always lighter than what it would actually be after you're finished. Okay, here's my file. The gray one, that OPI file, is my favorite. I need another one. I've about wore it out. As you can see, it's my oldie. I don't know, it's a little bit spongy and it kind of bends with it, and it does pretty good. I like the way it buffs it. I like the way it shapes, and you can shape the end of the nail as well. I'm not shooting you guys a bird, I promise. Okay, after I get them shaped, I will put the top coat on now. That's the light there I'm showing you. This is to cure it. I got that from Amazon as well. That's what cures the top coat for the gel. That doesn't have anything to do with the powder. That's just for the gel top coat. So you wouldn't have to have the light if you actually use the top coat for the powder that comes with the kits on the powder. But it doesn't stay as long, in my opinion. And it doesn't stay as shiny. So with the top coat for this gel, you just do a really light layer of it and make sure you get the end of the nail too. Like cap it in. And that protects the end of the nail as well. Like go around the end of it. I think I do here in just a second. See, right there at the end. I go around the end of it there. It's super shiny, and it stays so shiny like that the whole time. It doesn't get dull. And you can just do all the fingers, you do all of them before you stick it in under the lamp. Just a thin coat. And sometimes you can put a second coat on if you want to, but usually one coat is plenty. See how the difference is? It's so shiny compared to the dull. But some people like the matte look too. You can do the matte top coat if you'd rather have that. And I think it doesn't really matter if you get it on your skin. Just try not to. And like I said, you can use the little toothpick thing if you need to get it off the skin before you put it under the light. And I usually put it under there for a minute. There's different timers. I think you can do 30 seconds or a minute. I usually stick it under there for a minute. And then it will be ready to do the other hand. I don't know if okay, here we go. Okay, I've did both hands now. Okay. All right, that's it, you guys. I topped it off with the top coat there. See how super shiny they are? My homemade salon. I didn't square them up as much as I usually do, but I need to get a new file. So it's a little bit coarse. Then my fingers are dry there. This is for the cuticle oil. I think I'm almost out of this too. But it goes a long way too, because you just put a little bit for each finger and just kind of let it soak in. So your nails are dry. Now after you've put them under that light, you don't have to worry about them drying and hitting them on things and messing it up. That's the one reason I like it too. It's quick for that part. I mean, it's time consuming doing everything else, but it's quick as far as being dry and ready to go. When you finish, you're done. You don't have to worry about scuffing them on things. You can touch anything. Just let that cuticle oil soak in, and that's fine. Then I let it soak in for a little while. Then I usually wash my face and go to bed. Wash off my makeup and go to bed. So shiny. So you guys have to let me know what you think. Thanks, you guys.